Court does not have the power that it's currently yielding.
But Omékongo, if it's set up the way it is right now, what I am saying to Democrats, progressives, independents, black people, okay, if you use the power of your ballot, then you're in control. Here's the reality. Manchin doesn't run for re-election in West Virginia, which means Democrats can't lose Sherrod Brown's seat in Ohio. They can't lose Rosen's seat in Nevada. They can't lose Sinema's seat. You got the Democrat who's running against. She's independent. He's running for that particular seat as well, or Tester in Montana. So you got to hold the line in the Senate, and you got to win the White House. Here's the deal. Alito and Thomas are in their 70s. Yep. And when I've said this here, Roberts, I think, is 66 or 67. So understand, if you do the math, if Democrats win the White House and hold the Senate in 2024, win the White House and hold the Senate in 2028, it is likely they're going to pick 2 or 3 of those positions, which means, again, if your focus is on winning, if you win in 24 and you focus on 28 and you win in 32, by 2033, it's a good bet they're going to be able to control the Supreme Court. All is not lost. But if Democrats don't win in 2024, you're going to see Alito and Thomas likely pull an Anthony Kennedy. And that is Republican president, Republican Senate, they retire, pick their replacements, likely in their 40s, to guarantee they're going to have a 5-seat majority for the next 30, 40 years. It's simply called math.
And I would add to what you're saying, going off of Renita's point, they'll also expand the courts. I can clearly see a situation where Trump will try to stack the courts even more to get more justices on there to keep their rule. Look, great civil rights organizer of the March on Washington, Bayard Rustin said, I saw in an interview in like the early 80s or something, he said, we protested because we didn't have the vote. And he said, but when you have the vote, you don't need to protest. And that floored me for such a great organizer that he was. And basically, we need to be mindful of that. We can get out there and be mad and cry at every Supreme Court decision, whether it's Dobbs and so on and so forth. But every tier needs to be followed by a voter registration card. We have the power to do this. When we're looking at voting, whether we're looking at other civil rights laws, when we're looking at Dobbs, we keep coming back to, weren't these things already taken care of? Wasn't this already codified by the government, by Congress? And every situation, every step we keep coming back to, no, it actually wasn't. No, it actually wasn't. No, it actually wasn't. And here we are again. And if we don't get it right in 2024, in November, because we have a pretty good roster of potential candidates coming down the pike in 2028, so we need to hold the line right now. And when people are out there talking about, this is one thing that bothers me, Roland, every Supreme Court decision that comes out that people see giving Trump a win, or something coming down in a case in Florida with Judge Cannon and the like, we need to stop getting angry, and we need to use that as more motivation to get out and vote. What these courts are telling us is that do not depend on us. If you want to save whatever flawed democracy it is that we have, you have to go to the ballot box. And unfortunately, so many of us are seeing these judgments happen, and they're just throwing their hands up and saying, oh, Trump wins again. See, the rich don't have to worry about it. They're above the law. And we have to do the exact opposite, because just like you talked about 2028 going into 2032 and the like, I have children ages 9 to 17, and the prospect of them having to live under this particular Supreme Court, or who might come after that if Trump gets into office, it scares me. And so if we don't get it now, and we say this every election, Roland, right? This one is the most consequential, but like this one actually is, because we need to vote like in this election, like it's the last election, because it very well could be if we lose.
Let me